we've all looked at the Paul Pogba story, we've all looked at the rumours, we've all looked at it as one of them deals that, surely not. But now there seems to be significant movement, including one source saying that Manchester United's Ruben Amorim has actually spoken to Paul Pogba and is open to a move with lucrative bonuses on a low salary, a one-off contract. Let's talk about it. Let's get into all the details on this, all the other transfer news and aftermath from yesterday to talk about as well. Now that the weekend has finished, it's concluded, the dust has settled on everything that's going on in the Premier League, let's talk about what is actually going on and what are Manchester United going to do moving forward. Is Paul Pogba an option for Manchester United? I've got a few things I want to run by you, different permutations, different situations, different things that could benefit and not benefit Manchester United with the move of Paul Pogba coming back. And I think there is going to be plenty of different opinions in the live chat today. If you haven't already, please make sure you have subscribed so you can get involved in the live chat. Have your say on this. We're opening it up to everybody tonight to see what you think about this deal and whether you think Paul Pogba should come back to United. This is the third episode of this right now. We've done this 3 times now, and we're only bringing this one back today because obviously, after yesterday, after we seen what Manchester United was and how poor United were against Everton for long spells and how poor we are right now, we're looking for players that can help Ruben Amorim survive and get to the summer. So let's talk about this deal. Let's talk about where Paul Pogba comes in, because right now United are lacking in a lot of areas regarding that first team and squad. Does he fit? That's the first question. Please give the video a like. This is Forever United TV, Sunday evening. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. Welcome along. Get your comments in, like I said, and let's get cracking with this. So where has this story come from? What is the report? What are we talking about, first of all? And is this actually a reality? Well, Jack Talbot, Phil Sport, a few other aggregator accounts. You have to only click on Paul Pogba and Manchester United, and all the news will come up on your computer or on your screen in front of you, talking about what is happening right now, why we are even discussing this again, because it's only been a few days ago. But Manchester United are apparently open to Paul Pogba coming back. The first story and the first instalment came when United reportedly were open to letting Paul Pogba come back and train on his own or with Manchester United in some capacity while he was seeing out the latter stages of his drug ban, or the ban for doping that he was caught with. And obviously we know the situation with him. His ban is up in March and is available then as a free agent after Juventus terminated his contract after the results of that doping test. So Pogba is free to go and play wherever he wants if someone is willing to accept him. Then we got the stories of people close to Paul Pogba, players like Bakary Sagna, formerly of Arsenal, a French international. Again, another French international and former Manchester United player and forward, Louis Saha as well. Talking about Pogba after speaking to him, Paul Pogba is 100% open and would love to come back to Manchester United. That is the player side of things, and that's what he wants to do and he would love to do. He is all in on moving to Manchester United. That's a given. That's a given. That is a definite. He's already come out and said he's always loved Manchester United. He would jump back at the chance of coming back into a Manchester United side. So that, from the players' side, his friends and what all the rumours around that side of things is circulating, that is a definite yes. Now we're hearing today, and we heard the other day about Manchester United being open to some form of contract for Paul Pogba. It's now moved forward to reports coming out this afternoon on Sunday, 23rd of Feb, just so you're clear if you're watching this back, that Ruben Amorim has actually spoken with Paul Pogba now, and a conversation has happened. Now, I don't know if this is true. I'm guessing this will probably be put to bed, and this hasn't been true, but no smoke without fire again, and the conversation is there. United need players. United need midfield players. United haven't got money to spend. This would be cheap. This would be someone who knows United. This would be someone who is, I'll say this now clearly, on his day, a world-class operator that United are not going to be able to go out and get anywhere else. The problem with Paul Pogba outweighs the positive in everything that you look at, and I will always make that my stance on this. Look, if Ruben wants him, I back Ruben to making something happen, and there's a reason why he's doing it. But these conversations have to be along the lines of this works for United and United only. There is no negotiation with Paul Pogba at all. Obviously, his reps will try and drive the bargain and drive the deal and just try and remind Manchester United of what Paul Pogba was and what he could be and what he could do for this team. I get all of that, I do, but United need to stand firm. If the deal doesn't suit them, then walk away, totally. And again, making it clear, I didn't want Pogba back. And I don't want Pogba back. But if Ruben Amorim wants him and he feels like there is something that can be done, that he is going to come into this squad, for instance, and fit a role that he thinks will help him from now until the end of the season, then I'll back Ruben Amorim on any decision so far. I have to back him. We are going to give Ruben Amorim his time, and if he thinks that this is going to be the difference, then I think we have to take it seriously, and I think we do go along with Ruben Amorim 100% on it. But personally, no, not for me. But he's 32. That's another problem. We're talking about getting rid of a player like Casemiro right now, who has been there, done it, wore a T-shirt, as we know, that doesn't fit into Manchester United's side. That, again, is another issue at United. And I know the contract pretty much marries the situation in terms of his age. It's short-term, it's lucrative in a way that no other player is going to be on a contract like this because of the circumstances of the ban and whatnot going forward. Well, Paul Pogba, 32, how fit is he? That brings you to the next problem. Manchester United would only be able to bring him in next month, and it's not far away now from this coming about when Paul Pogba is available again. I think it was the 14th of March. I'm not 100% certain on the actual date, but it is the first couple of weeks of March when he is available to sign for anybody in the world as a free agent again. So that is coming about. That leaves us in around about, I think, the international break period for this to happen, which obviously would be the right time to do it. It's under the radar. There's no football going on. Plenty of time to talk about it and maybe sort of test the water with United fan base. Obviously, right now, there is a lot of unrest amongst the Manchester United fans, and I don't know how this sort of deal would be received. I don't know how a Paul Pogba coming back would be accepted by the Manchester United fan base. Obviously, they're at loggerheads with the ownership model right now, with everything going on at the club. It's not a nice place, and do the club want to test the waters even more? But then there's the other side of the fan base where are like, well, we are just desperate to bring in any quality at all. And there is a positive in Pogba coming in. Even I can say that if he does turn out to be, that's an if, and the positive only comes after the if, and there are plenty of ifs and buts in this. I am not pro or negative Pogba. I'm not going to go either way. I'm just going to say I wouldn't. I understand what he can bring. And would Paul Pogba be the difference in what's happening to Manchester United's season right now in the Premier League? No, not a chance. It's not. Would Paul Pogba come in and possibly offer Manchester United something in the sparing depths and moments in a massive game in the Europa League and can do something that not many other players in Manchester United's squad can do? Well, yes, he can. And that, I think, is the lure of this. And that's, I think, the appealing part of this deal. Let's not forget, Paul Pogba won the Europa League with Manchester United. Paul Pogba won this competition before. Paul Pogba, and I'm not saying it's complete, this is going to get quoted, this is going to get clipped or quoted or whatever, but Paul Pogba could be the difference for Manchester United making the Champions League next season and not. And it sounds ludicrous, and you're all going to say I'm an absolute idiot. I know, but it is a moment in the Europa League, and this is our only option this season. Let's not forget of getting anything in Europe next season in terms of Champions League anyway. We could win the FA Cup, and you know what, Pogba might even help us do something in that competition. He could help us get better in a few different ways. If and but he comes back, he's fit, he's ready to play, he adapts, he's not injury prone, again, like he always is. Another negative, by the way, that I have got against Pogba. His injury record was pathetic in terms of always being injured, but he could actually turn up on one night when it really matters, and that little investment that United have made in this weird contract, which is going about right now, I don't know how they're going to do it. The word is that he would be on a low salary with many bonuses in terms of performance-related bonuses, I'm guessing. But this would be, I think, engineered to the Europa League. It has to be. Would you want Paul Pogba on your bench as an option to come on in a Europa League game when you're stuck, when you need a little bit of quality, or you need that little bit of something else just to give you the edge? Would you take Paul Pogba then? Would you bring him on? I mean, it's the unknown. And this is how, I'm not saying that Joshua Zirkzee is Paul Pogba, for instance, but this is why I would rather have him over Rasmus Højlund, because you don't know what Joshua Zirkzee is going to do. There's a moment in that game against Everton yesterday where he carried the ball about 50 yards up the pitch, having taken on 5 Everton players. Rasmus isn't going to do that. Paul Pogba can score a goal from anywhere. Paul Pogba has got the power. He has got the control. He has got a lot to his game. If he is fit, I'll say it again. Don't shoot me down and come into the comments in a minute to have your say on this one. But he could just turn up and hit that world there. He could turn up and win a game out with nothing. That's the type of player we've got. And while we're not going to get a system in place that's going to work for Manchester United under Ruben Amorim this season, I think that's quite clear. We're going to need a pre-season. We're going to need players out. We're going to need players in and all of that. If you bring another player like that into Manchester United, and you know what? He is liked in the dressing room. He was loved in the dressing room, in fact. Everybody got on with Paul Pogba. You only have to remember what Bruno Fernandes said to him, Manchester United's club captain and captain right now, about how he helped him out when he first came to the club. That's the difference that we've got. In the dressing room, Pogba is loved. If Ruben Amorim's happy with it, then that goes a long way. You could negotiate something in there. Look, Ruben, if I'm Ruben Amorim, I'm saying if this deal is actually happening or getting anywhere near, then I'm saying to Paul Pogba, you need to be me out on that pitch. You need to lead this team. You need to do something. He has got that quality. We've seen what Paul Pogba did in that changing room. We've seen the videos of him rousing that French side and that World Cup winning side. He was the spearhead of that team. He was the man, the leader of that French team that won the World Cup. So we know he's got leadership qualities. We know he's respected in the change room. His relationship with managers and everything that's gone on before with the likes of Jose Mourinho in particular, which was obviously well documented. That's all there for everybody to read into and make their own opinion of. But you can't take away from what he is. Now, this sounds like there's a lot of positives in there for Paul Pogba. It sounds like I'm blowing smoke up his ass. I know the issues with him coming back. I know the fact that we have just been trying to rid ourselves of poisonous players and issues within Manchester United. And a lot of fans would say you're bringing one back. I am in that category of fans that are thinking that we're bringing an issue back to Manchester United. It clearly didn't work. And in the middle of a player power FC struggle between the club and the squad, which I think there really is he the right man to come in? And the only way I look at it and say that he might be anywhere near what Manchester United need right now is if Ruben Amorim is 100% convinced that this guy is going to help him in any way this season and what's left of it. That's the only thing. If Ruben wants him, I'm in. If he doesn't, and this is just made up, and United are trying to force this on because there is a cheap deal to be made and another body to bring in, forget it. It doesn't happen. Because we don't need someone else in there that Ruben's not going to be able to use. I would be looking at this. If it was me, I would be doing what I just said then, in sitting him down and saying to him, this is what I need from you, and this is what you're going to have to do to get into my team, and this is what I need you to be on the pitch for me. I would make him train first. I would test his fitness levels. I would make sure that he was 100%. He has to have a medical test and a half to make sure that he's ready to go. Can we get 3 months out of Paul Pogba? That's the ultimate question. Can he play from now until the end of the season and do a job for United? There's a yes and there's a no in all of that, all the way through there. But let's get into the comment section and see what you're all saying on this one. We have over 1,100 people in the room. Please get your comments in. Give me your thoughts. Also, give the video a like. We've got 150 likes in the bag already. There are tons of comments flying in. I can see them flooding in right now. This is a definite splitting of the fan base in terms of opinions on this. I know this is a Marmite situation. I'm just talking about it in general and how it may help and how it may hamper what we need right now at this football club. And honestly, I've said it, but just so you know before I hit the comments, because I know there's a lot of people that are probably just shooting me down right now for even bringing up a positive for Paul Pogba in this. I do believe there is one, and it only works for me, like I said, if Ruben Amorim's in with it. It's a no from me. That's where I am. I wouldn't go back there. I never go back, and I think it would. I'm not saying it's going to make it worse, because let's be honest. How can it make it even worse right now? It can only make things worse in the dressing room, and I don't think anybody is going to stand up against Ruben Amorim right now after the way that he's wielded the axe so far with the players at United. So I think Pogba is looking to come back. He's looking to have that opportunity to come back. He's got something to prove, and maybe we can take advantage of that. That's all I'm saying. And just to have an open mind in this and why United would actually be even contemplating it at this point. Right, that's enough for me on the opening section there. Pretty much said everything I need to say on this. So let's get into everything that you're going on with from this and your side. Hypothetical says DJG. What if Pogba has an outstanding rest of the season? Do we re-sign him or not, or let him go and say the emergency purpose has been served? That's something that will be negotiated in. The bonuses are there to provide. Obviously, if this contract is actually being talking about, and this is a story at the moment, there is nothing. There are obviously factuals about it, and the fact that United were probably looking at it, and Pogba is available, and United need players. There are plenty of facts in there. In terms of what's happened, whether Amorim has spoken to him, we're never really going to know. We're just reading into the stories of it. This is more about this being possible, and it is possible for United, and whether we think it would help Ruben Amorim, and why you would even be looking at it. But in terms of him doing well, and then an option being there to sign him on again, he's 32, and I don't think United would do it, personally. I think there may be a rolling one-year contract situation with Paul Pogba. And I think that would be, if, say for instance, you're negotiating this contract now, and you're putting a stipulation in there that you are exclusively Manchester United on a rolling 1 year. If we take you back now and take the risk on you, you need to give us at least 2 years of not going anywhere else if we want to extend that option if you're doing well. I think that is sensible business from United, but yeah, he is a leader for France, Graham. You know he is. It's not stretching it. You've seen the videos. You've seen how he performed for that team and what he was for France. He loved his country and he loved playing for France as well. And like I said before, everybody loved Pogba in the dressing room. There is something that isn't right with him and managers. I think that's clear. But then again, he was great with everybody apart from Manchester United. So, yes, that's the situation we're in with Paul Pogba, I think, in terms of manager relationships and what's happened before. Adam, please stop talking about Pogba. Everything you are saying is in past tense. He is in past. Just stop, please. He is vermin. That's your opinion, Raymond. Totally agree with it. I can see why you're even saying it. It's not got an issue with it. I'm going to keep talking about it, though. I'm sorry, mate. Because there is another argument in here, and there are people that do think that Paul Pogba should come back to Manchester United. But, yeah, I can't stop talking about it. Sorry, Raymond, but thanks for your comment, buddy. Bab says, it's a really big risk, but as a short-term measure, and assuming he is motivated and works hard, then I guess that we have to run with it if Ruben Amorim thinks it's worth it. Here's another question. Actually, I'm just going to do a poll. Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to write this out. I'm just going to say it as I'm writing it so you can all get along with it. If Ruben wants Pogba, do you? Basically, that's what it is. That's what I'm saying right now. If Ruben wants Paul Pogba and he's happy with it, would you take him? I'm going to put that into the poll right now. It's going to be interesting because the last time I did a poll like this, it went 51% bring Pogba back to 49% no. I think the situation, and I want to bring Ruben Amorim into this because this for me is why I'm even bringing it up again, because apparently Ruben Amorim has spoken to Pogba. That's the only reason I'm talking about it again. But if Ruben wants him, do you back the manager? Even with your opinion of Pogba and what he's done before, if Ruben feels he can get something out of Paul Pogba, do we back the manager? That's what we're saying. 8 appearances since 2022, says Modern Samurai. He performed properly against Belgium. What did Scholes say about him, Adam? He needed a minder on the pitch. I disagree with Scholes and a lot of what Scholes says, though, Graham. Let's be honest. He has got a big opinion, but let's be clear here with this. He needed a minder on the pitch. Yeah, you know that's not true. You know that's not true. And again, if Ruben Amorim feels like he has got a player there that you could say has got his minder already, Emmanuel Agate, maybe Paul Pogba stays in a number 10. Maybe he does Paul Pogba things up that end of the pitch. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want him. I don't want Pogba here. I'm just arguing the point that if Ruben wants him, what are we going to say? Who are we to say that Ruben shouldn't be given a chance to see if he can make something of a player that is looking to turn his life and his career around again? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I can already see the poll is actually moving in a direction that is completely opposite to where it was 2 months ago. And that is like already with nearly 250 votes in, 64% of you would take Paul Pogba if Ruben Amorim was happy to bring him back to Manchester United. Thank you so much for the likes, everybody. 200 likes in the bag. Please make sure that you do hit the subscribe button as well, everybody. Our sponsors of the show again tonight, Match Bingo. Scan the QR code bottom right hand corner, everybody, or jump onto the link in the description and get ready for game day this week against Ipswich. More to come on that, but just download the app for completely for free as it is right now and have a bit of fun there as well. I'll talk about that more towards the Ipswich game in the week. But Skilliano in the chat says, I don't think Ruben sees Pogba as a long-term signing, but he needs reinforcements after letting Rashford and Anthony go and Ahmad getting injured. See, circumstances creep into this as well. We have to bring that into the discussion. Right now, if he is happy to work for Manchester United and Ruben Amorim for 4 months until June, then do we go with that? Are you happy with that? Knowing that he's going to be gone. Look, he may come in and he may not even be fit. And he may only get paid if he plays a certain amount of games. If the deal works for United and Ruben can get something out of him, is it a no-brainer is what we're saying? Are we just saying this as a fan base because we know what's happened before? We're very opinionated. We're fed up. We're sick of the player power FC, the football shit. Nobody's happy at Manchester United right now. We've all got our deep opinions about what has been done before with Pogba. He isn't in many Manchester United fans' good books, or in their eyes, anybody that would really benefit Manchester United right now. Are we looking at it too easy? Are we looking at it too easy in that way? That ultimately is where Manchester United are at right now, I think. And it's on Ruben Amorim. I'm not going to go against Ruben Amorim right now. I think this is a man that has been backed into a corner with his hands tied behind his back and told to do his job. And I don't think it's been fair on him at all. So if he has an opportunity to maybe work with someone, knowing that there is zero risk in it because he'll be gone at the end of the season anyway, then why not let him see what he can do? If Ruben Amorim can turn Paul Pogba into a player and turn Man United's season around and maybe get a trophy with him, then Ruben Amorim looks like an absolute world beater again, doesn't it? And it maybe gives us that confidence and step in a positive direction going into the summer. Look, again, it sounds like I'm building up a big positive for Paul Pogba here, but I'm just trying to look at what can happen rather than the obvious negative which we all know about. Just trying to balance the debate and the argument out a little bit, that's all. The old saying, Adam, once bitten, twice shy, respect of Pogba. Never go back as well, Veronica. That is the issue, and I think that's where a lot of United fans are at with their opinions right now. Adam says, again, we will be out of the Cup and Europe by the time Paul Pogba would join us. Why even bother? Well, maybe we have got time. Well, we don't have to sign Paul Pogba bang on the day that he's free. Maybe he needs to train for a bit. Maybe he needs to play for a little bit in games behind closed doors. There's no rush to sign him because nobody else is going for him. And I know, on that point there, and plenty of people would probably pull me on that, why are United the only ones going for him? That's another negative. So we've heard anyway. There are probably other clubs interested, but because it's United, we're hearing about it more because you do hear more about every single piece of Manchester United news. So that realistically is why we're hearing about it a lot more from Manchester United's side of things and no other club. But still, when you look at the rumours, when you look at everything that's going on, when you look at the problems Manchester United have got, you sort of start to think more positively about it in hope, and you're clinging on to anything you possibly can that could probably change our fortunes this season. And I think that's where a lot of people are at. And this is probably why I'm going to hold my hands up and be honest. This is probably why I'm talking about it the way I am tonight in terms of what he might be able to bring United rather than just condemning it straight out, which is what I would normally do and I have done in the past. I'm not standing here or being all hypocritical and totally contradicting myself. I'm not. I understand what I'm saying and I know what I'm saying. The only reason, like I said before, we're talking about it again is because Ruben Amorim apparently is interested in this deal. And if he's interested, then I'm interested. And I want to know why. I want to know more. I want to know what he's thinking. I want to know every single part of this deal and every single detail of what is involved in it. Because I'm scared, like a lot of other United fans, that this could just be adding to the fire. It could just be throwing fuel onto the fire and everything just blow up at United right now. But you have to admit to yourselves, and you have to be honest and say, there is an element of you, even if you are completely against it, that's interested to know what might happen and where Pogba is, because there is a player there, and we all know there's a player there, and and Paul Pogba is a player on his own in the way that he plays, and he does have something different to his game that not many midfielders have. How can United sell a promising young player accused of a crime and hire a 30-plus one that was found guilty? Different scenario altogether, Lee. We cannot even compare that scenario. That is a completely different area. One was sporting related, one was off the field related, and we know the reasons why. That's uncomparable. James Walsh, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you for that, my friend. Also, we have 6-month renewed member. We can compete, says, smash the like button, peoples. Let's get them up. Yes, let's get them up. Please subscribe as well, everybody. Well over 1,200 in the room with us right now. Thank you again for joining us. Keep your comments coming in. I'm finding this absolutely fascinating tonight about how many people would actually go for this. We've gone from 70-30 no, literally a month ago, to the other week, sorry, I think it was last week actually, 51-49 yes, and now tonight again. And I think this is all because of the way that the football's going and the fact that Ruben might have actually spoken to him and liked this deal with Pogba, that we're now at 61% to 39% in favour of Pogba actually coming back to Manchester United. I have mixed up the poll in terms of the question itself, though. I've said, I was supposed to say if Ruben. It says Ruben wants Pogba. It's supposed to say if. Sorry, typo, my mistake. If Ruben wants Pogba, would you take him? So I'm putting it in the court of everyone making a decision based off what Ruben Amorim would want to do, rather than our own opinions a little bit. I'm being a bit crafty with it. I'm trying to mix up your minds and your opinions a little bit with this one. But keep your comments coming in on this. Thank you for that, Neil, as well, buddy. Appreciate that when we get comments like that saying it's a great show. I love that. Please do, if you are liking the show, give it a like as well, everyone. Simon says, we already went back for Pogba. Are you hoping 3 times the charm? I don't know. I'm hoping for anything to go right for United right now. We all know what we watched yesterday, and we all know it was a very, very lucky side. We really was. One good thing that has happened today is that City are definitely not picking up a Premier League or a Champions League trophy anytime soon. It has been a horrendous week for Manchester City in terms of where they are at. They are now officially in a top 4 fight, and it's going to be a bit crazy with the teams that are coming up behind them. But look, we can only laugh at our opponents a certain way. I don't even think we can call City an opponent right now. They're not even in our. We're not even in the same stratosphere as Manchester City right now, but still, it's nice as a United fan to laugh at City completely being blown away again at home this season. Maybe we should focus on the present players and manager and being just outside the relegation zone. This new summer window is way too risky to gamble on the wrong man or players staying. See, that's the thing, MB Creator. If we're relating that to the Paul Pogba situation, it really isn't relevant what you said, because Paul Pogba would be gone in the summer. And then we can rebuild. This is about now. And we know the players that you're talking about right now cannot play for Ruben Amorim. Would Paul Pogba play for Ruben Amorim? Would he be willing to put in that shift for Ruben Amorim and make a difference in this squad? That's the only reason we're talking about it, because we are looking at this situation all wrong. If we're looking into the summer, take Pogba out of it. It's completely off the agenda. Anthony says, Adam, bringing Pogba back smacks of pure desperation. Use the youth instead. Maybe Fletcher, Morehouse can be the answer. We don't know, but again, I understand what you're saying, Anthony, but also in the same breath, do we want to bring the young players through into this mess right now? Would we rather bring someone else in who can make a difference to create a better environment going into the summer for these players and these younger players, rather than throw them right in at the deep end and say, fix this? Because let's be honest, as soon as you bring a player onto the pitch in the Premier League and mix them with these Manchester United starting 11 and these so-called best players for Manchester United, that is very, very debatable, let's be honest. But if you do bring them in, you are automatically asking them to go and win a game for the first team. We're not going to put a player on the pitch and say, oh, it's okay to lose because we put an academy player on. We're not allowed to say that, are we? We're actually expecting these players to go out and perform. And I'd rather not play the younger players simply because they will be tarnished with the same brush as this first team. You're bringing these players in. It's not the right environment. It's not the right time to bring them in. They're losing game. Are they deteriorating while doing this? Is it affecting their developments? I would hold back on the younger players. I want to see them brought in. I want to see them brought in big groups, though. I think there's enough to come in and change things. I don't want individuals propping up here and there with the younger players. I understand Chido Obi. I understand that one because we have one number 9 at the club. And I think he is physically built enough to make a difference. Everybody else, we have got umpteen first-team players that I think it's only right that they try and get us out of this mess that they created, rather than asking the younger players to come in and do a job. I want to see them. I want to see them at the right time. I want to see them playing together. I want to see them being built into a side under Ruben Amorim, which is pretty much built from scratch and not damaged like the rest of this first team is. I said it in the watch along yesterday. I said I don't care for any of these players. I don't care if anyone who started this game is sold in the summer, apart from maybe Dorgu, Mazraoui, Agate, Zirkzee, Delit. Sounds like most of them, but I'm picking out the players that have just come into the team and have only been here for one season or half of this season so far. I think everybody deserves a couple of seasons. And it's why I went a little bit easier on Rasmus Højlund as well. Maybe you could loan him out instead of selling him. But that is where we're at right now with this team, personally, for me anyway. I don't care for any of them. Has everyone forgot he was barely fit and rarely had a good game? However, in the price if the price suits United and Amorim, maybe. No, James, we haven't forgotten about how unfit he was. It's something that I've brought up quite a lot. And it's a very good point, James, because it's pointless bringing Paul Pogba in any circumstance right now unless he's fit. And that was one of the stipulations I was going to bring in. And I said this, look, he has to train for 2 weeks. He has to make sure that he passes this medical and some. And he has to prove that he is going to be available for when Ruben Amorim needs him. I don't think he will. It's just my opinion. I don't think he will. I don't think he's fit enough. He had a shocking injury record. And I was happy to see the back of him just simply because of that. Because he's never available. That was the issue. I think the only reason that the talk is there at all, again, it goes back to it, is because it's such a short-term deal. It's because Paul Pogba, he would be at Manchester United for 3 months maximum. That's it. There may be a rolling option there to keep him there on very, very low wages, but still, it's a quick fix for nothing. And right now, we're in survival mode at Manchester United, and I think that is the only reason that Ruben Amorim would even consider bringing Paul Pogba in at Manchester United. I don't see why he would in any other way, in any other circumstance, sorry. But yeah, good point, James. And I have spoken about that, and that is vitally important as well. If you wouldn't take Sanchez or Di Maria back, then you should not want Paul Pogba back. Why? It's a completely different scenario. Paul Pogba did a lot more than what Alexis Sanchez and Di Maria did for Manchester United. Let's not kid ourselves, and let's not try and put these players in the same groups for what they did on the pitch. Paul Pogba's issue was with Jose Mourinho, and I would still back Jose Mourinho on what he did right now. I'm building an argument as to why Ruben would want him in for 3 months. Not long term, not comparing to what he did before. What would a fresh Paul Pogba do now for United from February to May? That's it. Nothing else, nothing past, nothing from before. Cut off what happened before and look at it from Ruben's side. If you're asking me, I'm going to answer it exactly the same way, Kieran, like you just did. I don't want him. But if Ruben feels like there's something there, that's the conversation I'm having right now, and nothing else. If Ruben feels like he can do it, then you allow him the opportunity to try and make something happen. You need to give him something to actually work with. And I think Paul Pogba, with a point to prove, is an intriguing proposition. I'm not convinced that anything would happen, to be honest, but still, if he feels after all the tests, after training, after his fitness levels were proven, that he could get something out of him from now until the end of the season, it's worth a conversation. 100% it is, yes. I don't think Pogba can even play in the Europa League, so can't see the point. No, I think he can play in all competitions. I think he can. I'm not too sure. Actually, in terms of registration, maybe you're right, Glenn, on that one. Again, it needs to be looked into, but it falls into the category of what he's trying to do to survive and whether or not Paul Pogba could do anything for this team to build it. I don't know. Glenn might be right with that one. I didn't actually think about it personally myself, and apologies for not doing, but well made up. Good point made by Glenn there. Does he have to be registered at a certain time in Manchester United's European squad? It's a very good point. So my argument about him doing something in Europe may be completely null and void and not even relevant right now. But still, again, there is a conversation that Ruben has had, clearly. If that is true, then there is something that he feels he can bring to Manchester United. And that is where it is. That's where it's all at. But yeah, I see the issues all over it. I'm with you all. I understand it. But still, 62% of you on the poll are saying, if Ruben wants him, I want him. I'll take him back. Pogba hasn't played a competitive game for 2 years. He's not coming back to United. We don't know, mates. We look at that and think that's ridiculous. But what is normal at Manchester United right now? You tell me that something that isn't ridiculous at Manchester United right now. Is it ridiculous that Andre Onana plays every game at Manchester United, even though he's the worst goalkeeper in the league? Yes, it is. Is it ridiculous that Manchester United are 15th in the league? Yes, it is, especially with the wage bill that we've got and the amount of money we've spent on our squad. Is it ridiculous that we've already got a 32, 33-year-old, happy birthday today to Casemiro, by the way, in this squad that has won everything that a player could possibly win, that is impossible to use in the Ruben Amorim system? Yes, that is ridiculous. Let's be honest. Everything about Manchester United right now is absolutely ridiculous. And no matter which way you look at it, it's never going to be normal at Manchester United. And that's why I think that this deal, if Paul Pogba came in, it would just fit right in with everything else that's going on right now. It really would. Keep your comments coming in on Paul Pogba. We have done a big, long stint on that. That debate was fantastic, by the way. Keep your comments coming in on it as well. I love that. There have been so many different opinions on that one. But more news as well, as you can see, going across the bottom of your screen again. Manchester United would be completely open to selling Garnacho, Alejandro Garnacho in the summer. I think this is one, and this has come out from Ben Jacobs as well. He has said that there's still a feeling, even though it's to be a reluctant sale, that Alejandro Garnacho is a player that on the books could be very valuable, and in the same way that Manchester United would have considered a sale in January, it would be a case again for financial reasons in the summer too. So again, Ben Jacobs there just doubling down on the situation we had in January with Garnacho, and United open to sale but only at the right amount of money, and they would obviously be interested in the sale because of the 100% PSR sell on. It would generate so much more money for Manchester United to work within the realms of PSR, and obviously with the announcement coming after the transfer window shut in January that PSR is here to stay, that then opens up the situation for Manchester United looking to probably even more so now sell homegrown players this summer to generate enough income. And that is the reality of what Manchester United's window is going to be. We've talked about that quite a lot already. But again, I think what a lot of people have forgotten is that Manchester United came out of that January transfer window bullish and happy with the business that they'd done, knowing that every one of the members of the Premier League, i.e. the clubs, had voted for new PSR rules to come in the summer. Now them, after the window has been shut, have been kiboshed for another year. And United have to go into this summer on a very important one in trying to back Ruben Amorim and give him more money to spend on players and change his squad around on an absolute shoestring budget. So this now puts the focus back onto homegrown players quite a lot more because of that rule not being brought in and the squad ratio rule not being there for at least another season for United. So going far in the Europa League is massive for United. We discussed that yesterday about that 35 million windfall if United win the Europa League. That is big. United's pathway into the Europa League final looks pretty straightforward. And if United can turn up like they have done in certain games this season, then we can go far in that competition. And like I said before, if the unthinkable happens and Manchester United win the Europa League, 35 million and then the Champions League money in next season, which will balance United's books so much better, then you're looking at turning a real page for United. It's a massive if, and I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but that's how United will look at it. If we're not in Europe next season, i.e. this season finishes poorly, like it's looking likely to be, and that's not winning the FA Cup, not winning the Europa League, finishing bottom half of the table, then United will be selling Garnacho this summer. I'm just going to say it as it is. That's what I feel is going to happen anyway. I think he will sell them. He will. In terms of other players at Manchester United right now, obviously we talked a little bit about Marcus Rashford, 2 assists, playing well, looking good for Manchester United to sell him in the summer to Aston Villa. We did that on Football Talks the other day, actually. Please do go and subscribe to our other channel. The link is in the live chat there and in the description as well. But Anthony again, involved in another assist, playing well. He's had a fantastic start at Real Betis. What a February that has been for Anthony. Anthony, on that, I didn't even notice, but he has been sent off. I've only just picked up on this news, actually. Anthony misses the Real Madrid game because he's been sent off in the Real Betis game. I'm looking at his stats and everything that is going on with Anthony. He's been involved in quite a lot. He's had a great start. But I wanted to bring it into the PSR and the transfer talk more than anything. But in bigging Anthony up, I've just checked the news again now and he actually has been sent off tonight. Never mind. Unlucky Anthony lad. But at least he's showing the passion. At least he is appealing himself to that Real Betis supporter that fan base there over in Seville. So I feel like that is another player that will be sold in the summer, obviously for decent money. So I'm looking at raising 70 to 80 million for Anthony and Marcus Rashford. I'm thinking obviously Casemiro will go. That's probably 20 max. Then you're into the realms of 100 million. You've got the Jadon Sancho money to come on top of that, 125 million. If you win the Europa League, there's a little bit more money there as well. All of the wages off the book with all of these players and the other players of their contracts ending. If you add a Garnacho to that, then you're talking significant value. And that is a Manchester United rebuild summer ready-made. Obviously, United have to be careful with the money. And I don't think we'll spend anywhere near all of that, by the way. I'm saying that money is what we can generate. I don't think we'll spend it all, though. Because we do have to obviously balance books and make sure that United are operating sensibly because there's no guarantees. This is why I think we'll be into the loan market. This is why I feel that Manchester United are actually discussing the possible deal for Paul Pogba. It all falls into the same thing. United are skint and we need options. It's as simple as that. That's where United are right now. And whether you like it or not, Paul Pogba is a conversation that is actually going on. On Paul Pogba coming back and now Anthony. No, Anthony's not coming back. We're selling Anthony, that's what I said. Or you're just not happy, Steve, that we're talking about Pogba coming back and Anthony being sent off? I'm sorry, mate. It's just what's happening in the news right now, buddy. Wayne says, for United to stand any chance of winning any more games this season, then we have to drop Andre Onana. He's created more goals for our opponents than all of our opponents' players this season. I see it. You don't need to give me... You don't need to tell me anything about Paul Pogba, about Andre Onana. And my opinion on him is that he needs to be out of this Manchester United starting 11 as soon as Altay Bayindé comes back. Mid-table, destiny, selling club, manager every 6 months. Get ready. Hopefully not Modern Samurai. But he has also said something else on the back of that, which is good, which is like, subscribe and comment. Yes, please do that. Which thousands of you have actually done already in this show. Loads of comments in. Thank you. We're keeping up to around about 1,000 votes. So 1,000 Manchester United fans have voted if Ruben wants Pogba back, would you take him? So if it's good enough for Ruben, is it good enough for you? Is basically what we're saying there in the poll. And 63% of you have said yes. That is Ruben Amorim, he's happy with it. So am I. Let's see what happens from there. But yeah, we're just creeping through all of the other news. Let me know on Garnacho, when it comes to the summer, do we sell a sub player? We talked about Garnacho before. He is better off the bench. He impacts the game so much better. Would you sell him? And by the way, everybody, we're creeping up to that 400 live like mark. If you give the video a like right now, we should be near enough there, everybody. Please show your appreciation and get them likes in. Thank you, everyone. Get the goalkeeper out. Don't know what that means. Getting banned from Old Trafford is not on the menu. I'm not sure what that is from Graham either. I think he's talking to somebody else. Pogba is miles ahead of Bruno, even with one leg. Disagree with that completely. 1,000 votes should mean more likes as well, Roddy says. I agree, Roddy. Well said, mate. Still 63% of you. And we have had 1,000 votes on that poll as well now. So that is really interesting. 63%. I think if I did the poll again next week, it would probably go up to around about 70%, wouldn't it? Yes, I'd sell Garner. He comes on and plays as a winger late in games. He doesn't suit the system. And that's what I'm making. And that's what I'm saying about Garnacho. Would you sell a substitute player? Because I feel like no matter what, Garnacho's going to be a substitute next season for Ruben Amorim. He's not going to be a starting 11 player. And if there's money there to get and then re-spend on a player that is going to fit into United's first 11, then do we go down that road? Is that something that we should be looking at as well? Honestly, that's how I think it is at the moment. It's a needs-must situation, I think, more than anything. So when you look at everything that's happened in previous transfer windows, when we've not sold players, thinking that was the right decision to make, going fast forward into the future, it obviously hasn't worked out that way. I think there's a lot of players that Manchester United fans would have liked to have sold a lot sooner, but at the time didn't think it was the right deal. But in the end, it has worked out to not be the best decision. And I think that's where we're at with a lot of these players. I think it feels like it is automatically going to be a reset in the summer because we're getting rid of so many players that are out of contract as well. I think that does add that security blanket to this actually feeling like something significant this summer for a lot of Manchester United fans. So I think we have got that in our favour as well. So it just depends how we spend. Do we spend it well? Only time will tell. Quickly, everybody, as well, just give me a yes or no in the chat because I don't want to make another poll because we haven't got the time to do it. On the new one, I was going to do this the other day, but I was talking about players and transfers that could come in. Because they're free, even if they're not first choice, but because they're free transfers, would you take Jonathan David and Angel Gomez at United? Just simple yes or no. That is it. In the comment section right now, batter that comment section with yeses and nos, because I'll know exactly what you're replying to. I haven't got time to do another poll, but they are free transfers. Squad depth. Talking about quality, they could actually be first team players. And straight away, yes. No, says Billy. Yes for everybody, it would seem. I would say that would be an outstanding yes. There's a few no's. But let's not forget, these are quality players that are not going to be on big wages, that are better than what we've got, and are free. And I keep looking at it and I'm going, you've got to be all over this. Obviously, it's if United can. But just gauging, no to either, says Graham there. It's like, why? It's brain dead to even say no to both for no particular reason. It's like they are good players, better than what we've got right now, and they're free. It's squad depth at best. Look, United probably won't even be able to get this. And this is definitely a test for where this Man United fan base is at as well. Everybody's saying no and yes, like we can just go and get them. And I kind of tricked you into answering the question to say that in that way there then. But who's to say that they want to come to Manchester United with where we are right now? We are obviously thinking that we can go out and get these players because they're free. I think they are good enough for Man United, but I don't think we'll get either of them. I really don't. I don't think we've got a chance of getting them. I would take both now. 100% yes. 100% I would take both of them players because I think they are better than what we have got in this team right now. But I don't think United are in the market for him. They're looking elsewhere. And this is the issue we've got. We are assuming that we can go out and get any player we want. We can't. We are now solely in the hands of the structure and the negotiating panel and everybody that's involved at United that Ineos have employed for getting any player through the door right now. And I am feeling more confident than I have before about things happening. And no, he won't demand 200 grand a week and he won't get it, Graham. You know he won't get it. Gomez is good enough. I disagree again with you on that one. But look, let's be honest. We're talking about a Lille side here that are competing, are in the last stages of the Champions League as well. And look where United are. That's all you've got to look at. And again, it's this arrogance of Manchester United fans. Like, these players are not good enough for us. We're bottom half of the table, Manchester United side. We're not a Manchester United from the 2000s or the 90s anymore. We have to start acting like we are and where we are. We need to start building a team instead of individuals. I know that counters with the Paul Pogba situation because he's seen one of these big individual players and that isn't good for the club, and it's going back to the player power FC and a player that plays for himself. And yeah, that is a short-term deal, and that's why I would even consider it. That's the only reason I would consider it. Yes. Yeah, and again, like, I can see the comments. Gomez is too small, not physical enough. David, I do think he's. I don't think he's out special, but he's got to be better than what we have. He's better than every single forward that we've got. That's the answer to that, because he's playing at a better level. He's competing at the highest level. I keep saying this before, but people just look at players and don't think they're Man United calibre. What is Manchester United calibre? What is it? It's like Graham says there, better than what we have better than what we have got. It's not a good enough yardstick. If they're recruited and they fit into what Ruben Amorim wants, is that not what we want? Is that not what we are after? Oh, what was Patrick Dorgu recommended on? He's come in and he is better than what we've got right now, and he's performing better than anybody else on that left-hand side. Again, people are very, very short-sighted, I feel. And by the way, I'm just going to say, I'm not saying that your arguments and your opinions are all wrong. Everybody's got them. And I think right now, Manchester United are in no position to say that we are going to get player A, B or C. I don't think we can go for the best that's out there right now. It's like people say we need Florian Wirtz. Nah, pipe dream you do. And Florian Wirtz signs for United, and then you wake up with your head in a bowl of cornflakes after a lovely dream, but then realising that is never going to happen. Forget it. It's not there anymore. We have to build from scratch, and we have to be clever with recruitment. I would take both. Simple as. I think a lot of people would take Anthony Elanga back right now, and there weren't many Man United fans queuing up saying that he was good enough at the time. And that's all I'm saying on that one anyway. But that is our show this evening, everybody. I just want to say a massive thank you again. We did it a little bit later tonight. Really enjoyed that, actually. It was a great debate on Paul Pogba. Loving the opinions on everything else regarding the free transfers, Garnacho, and everything that's going on. I will be back at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning to start the week off. Looking ahead quickly. Not much room for Manchester United or time to actually recover from the Everton game. Ipswich on Wednesday night, everybody. So another game for United. Another game for us to dissect as well. Hopefully we can get some points on the board against relegation fodder. Please, God, surely we can get a win against Ipswich Town. That's what's coming up next. But we start tomorrow at 12 o'clock with our week. And until then, enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. Get yourself nice and cosy, get yourself a drink, and I'll see you all bright and early in the morning. Thank you, mods. Thank you all new members and new subscribers on the channel as well. Enjoy.